Yesterday, my dog Coco had diarrhea all over my freshly detailed car. My backyard flooded. Let's just say that by the end of the day, I was anxious, overwhelmed, exhausted, and completely done. Years ago, a day like this would have wrecked me. I would have started asking, why does this keep happening to me? What I discovered about what was driving my anxiety changed everything. And if you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. Because the goal isn't to stop life from happening. The goal is to stop letting every curveball take you out. But before we dive in, if you're a high achieving woman who struggles with anxiety, overwhelm, perfectionism, self-doubt, or feeling stuck in the same patterns over and over again, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Every week, I share practical tools to help you uncover the hidden childhood patterns that are running your life behind the scenes so you can retrain your nervous system, break free from self-sabotage, and finally step into the version of yourself you're capable of becoming. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Jess, a former top global beauty publicist. Outside of my career, I spent decades studying patterns, human behavior, and psychology. Working with everyone from celebrities to billionaires gave me a front row seat to how different people respond to pressure, adversity, and uncertainty. Today, I help ambitious women like you uncover the hidden patterns keeping you stuck so you can stop self-sabotaging, trust yourself again, and step into your full potential. And yesterday was a perfect example of exactly what I'm talking about. Because at the time, I thought I was overwhelmed because everything kept going wrong. But when I finally stepped back and looked at what was really happening, I realized there was something much deeper driving it, because there's always a fear underneath the overwhelm. Let me tell you how my day started. At 5 a.m. because Coco gets walked every morning. And I was actually excited because today was the day that I was finally going to film my YouTube videos. Then I realized I completely forgot the housekeepers were coming. Wonderful. There goes my entire morning. So now I'm already losing time. But since we had just gone back from the beach and my SUV was full of sand, I thought, well, I'm taking Coco to get groomed. So the last thing I want is for her to jump into a sandy car and get dirty all over again. So I decided to go detail my SUV. Now keep in mind, it's over 100 degrees. So I spend hours detailing the inside and outside of my car. Then I come home, I shower, I do my hair, I put on a full face of makeup. I am finally ready to film. All I have to do is pick up Coco from the groomer. Simple, right? Wrong. Not even 5 freaking minutes into the drive, and all I hear is, and immediately I know, no, please tell me that didn't just happen. It happened. Coco had diarrhea all over my freshly detailed car. And not on the side, not somewhere convenient, right in the middle, into the crevices, into the seat belt, into every little space imaginable. And I'm sitting there thinking, are you freaking kidding me right now? So I bring her up front with me. I'm now back in the garage, again in triple digit heat, cleaning the car all over again. That makeup melting. That shower I just took, pointless. I'm sweaty. I'm gross. I'm exhausted. And now I'm scrubbing poop out of a seatbelt. If you've ever had one of these days, tell me about it in the comments. So I could feel the overwhelm and anxiety bubbling up, because the reality is that for most people, anxiety and depression never goes away. The goal isn't to reach a permanent cure, but to build the tools that allow you to see it, stop it, and shift it faster and faster every single time. So with every delay, I could feel my filming time time disappearing. And all I could think was, oh my God, I'm running out of time. The more exhausted I became, the bigger the problem felt. Then my husband called. And if you know my husband, he's a talker. He loves to talk and he won't get off the phone. He's discussing the smallest details of everything exciting happening to him. And I just want him to stop talking so I can go get in the shower. At this point, I'm done. So done. I don't want to film. I don't want to think. I don't want to solve another problem. I just want to shower, get into my pajamas and pretend this day never happened. So that's exactly what I did. And I decide I'm going to wake up early and film. Then my husband called. And that's when he tells me he's coming home a day early. And that was the final straw because all I could think was, now when am I supposed to film? I already lost today and now I'm losing another day. How am I supposed to get all of this done? So I threw my hands in the air and said, you know what? Forget it. I'm done. I'm tapped out. And I went to bed. The next morning, I wake up. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm rested. I'm refreshed. I grab my Starbucks and I start processing. I'm processing everything that happened the day before. And suddenly it hits me. The real fear underneath all of the triggers that caused my anxiety and overwhelm was simply the fear that my filming window was closing. You see, because when my husband is home, life is busy, really busy. And all day long, my brain had been telling me, you're running out of time. And because I was physically exhausted, that fear got amplified. It felt bigger than it really was. It was more urgent than it actually was, more catastrophic than it actually was. But after a good night's sleep, I could finally see what I couldn't see the day before. The solution was actually simple. If I needed more filming time, I could create more filming time. I could tell my husband I needed a day to myself. I could adjust the schedule. I could adapt. I could overcome. And then my neighbor knocks on the door and literally tells me that my backyard is flooding. What? Yes, flooding. The water was going into their yard because our sprinklers broke and were left on all night. Then my husband starts calling me about changing his flight. And what's funny is that none of it affected me the way it had the day before. Not because the problem disappeared, but because I was rested. I had perspective again. And I've trained myself to tap into my cognitive emotional repatterning method. See it, stop it, shift it. And before we keep going, if you're wondering how to figure out what's really driving your anxiety and overwhelm, that's exactly why I created my free trigger tracker. Because you can't change a pattern you can't see. Most people are reacting to trigger they don't even realize they have. The trigger tracker will help you identify the hidden triggers, emotional reactions, and subconscious patterns that may be keeping you stuck in anxiety, overwhelm, and self-sabotage. You can download it for free at poweredbyjess.com because once you can see the pattern, you can change it. And that's exactly what happened to me. Because once I finally saw the pattern underneath my anxiety, I realized something. My problem wasn't that I didn't have a solution. My problem was that I couldn't see the solution. And once I understood why, everything started to make sense. You see, because an activated brain can't see solutions. When your amygdala gets activated, your brain stops looking for solution and starts looking for threats. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's trying to protect you. But instead of seeing 10 possible solutions, you see one giant problem. Now, here's something else I want you to understand. A lot of people in the self-development world will tell you, just change your state. And listen, there's some truth to that. Years ago, when I was struggling with anxiety, I went to see Tony Robbins. I left feeling incredible, powerful, motivated, like I could conquer the world. But then I came home, and when I was sitting alone in my apartment, the anxiety came back because I wasn't standing in an arena anymore. I couldn't jump around screaming at the top of my lungs every time I got anxious. And that's when I realized something. Changing your state helps. But if you don't understand what's creating the state in the first place, you're going to keep ending up right back where you started. That's why I spent years developing cognitive emotional repatterning, because I realized I needed to understand why my brain kept sabotaging me. I needed to understand the patterns underneath the anxiety, the patterns underneath the overwhelm, the patterns underneath the depression. Because once you understand the pattern, everything changes. You stop believing anxiety is who you are. You realize anxiety is something your nervous system has practiced. And if it learned it, it can learn something else. Now, I also want to be really honest with you, because I don't want you sitting there thinking, well, that's easy for her. It's easier for me now because I've been studying, understanding, and training for years. But there was a time when I couldn't shift out of the freeze response for months. There was a time when I would cry at night because I could feel the anxiety in my throat and in my solar plexus. And no matter what I did, no matter how much I jumped, it wouldn't go away. There was a time when I would spiral over everything. There was a time when a situation like this would have taken me out. What you're seeing now is training. And let's be honest, life is going to keep lifing. Dogs are going to have diarrhea. People are going to change their plans. Sprinklers are going to flood your backyard. The question isn't whether life is going to throw you curveballs. The question is how much control you're going to keep trying to have over things you were never meant to control in the first place. And that's exactly why I want you to watch this next video on the missing piece in the Mel Robbins Let Them theory. Because once you understand this one shift, you'll stop exhausting yourself trying to control everything and everyone around you. Click on this video right here and I'll see you there.